Renovations are underway at the Purdue Memorial Union. How they're preserving history with this new project tonight on News 18 at 10.
Boy, highs today, 81 across Carroll County here, 81 Delphi and Flora. We get to 80 at Monticello, 81 Remington, but 85 at Covington. Highs overall 79 to 85 with clouds and sun. We are tracking the impacts of Tropical Storm Fred and eventually Grace as it gets closer to the U.S. We'll have the latest info on any rainfall from those next.
And U.S. officials admit that Afghanistan fell much more quickly than they expected. How the U.S. is scrambling now to evacuate American civilians and Afghan allies later tonight.
News 18 on the CW at 10 starts now. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Smith. Meredith Heckler has the night off. Thanks for joining us. Renovations on the Purdue Memorial Union's basement are underway. The $47 million project is designed to maintain historical value while updating for modern times. They'll increase seating and dining options and create a marketplace feel comparable to ones that can be seen at Duke University. In addition, there will be numerous environmental graphics on the floor. Those are hidden pictures that will tell the story of Purdue and the Union Building. There will be open lighting from nearby terraces where musical performances can be held. Senior Director Zane Rafe says they're excited to provide this kind of space for students.
Make sure that we honor the history of the Purdue Memorial Union, make sure that we have a lot of the finishes and those things that you see on the main and the second floor, but obviously we want to make sure that it's modernized so students can use it and really enjoy the facilities.
The project is on track to be completed early next year, barring any external factors. A brush pile on Fairfield Township property has been deemed a fire hazard. As we've reported, trustee Talitha Coles was stockpiling the wood with hopes of hosting bonfires at Greenbush Cemetery. Drone footage shows the brush pile stretch the entire length of the township's lot on North 12th Street. Crews on Friday used heavy machinery to remove the logs and brush. Lafayette Fire Chief Richard Doyle says the pile could be a danger to the area around the township's property. The fire department asked the township to remove that brush as quickly as possible. A police pursuit that left a mother and newborn dead exceeded speeds of 100 miles an hour, according to felony charges that were filed against 23-year-old Joshua Brown. As we've reported, Brown is accused of leading a police chase last week across White County. Police say he crashed into a vacant home in Brookston, killing his 4-month-old son, Jeremiah Brown, and the child's mother, 21-year-old Jalea Johnson. Brown's 2 other children were hospitalized after the crash. He faces a charge of neglect of a dependent resulting in death and 2 charges of resisting law enforcement and causing death. A probable cause affidavit says that Brown and Johnson had just received custody of those children from the Illinois Department of Child Services. Local hospitals continue dealing with COVID-19 patients. At last check, IU Health Arnett has 25 hospitalizations. 4 patients are in the intensive care unit, and 2 of those are on ventilators. Franciscan Health Lafayette has 26 hospitalizations today, 9 in the ICU with 4 on ventilators. 5 of the total patients at Franciscan are under the age of 30. Well, turning now to weather, a little bit muggier tonight, and I do think I notice kind of an orange tint to the half moon outside. Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans joins us now. Chad, another smoky evening?
Yeah, a little bit more smoke is starting to come in, Jeff, and I noticed that as the sun was setting this evening, a little bit more coming in from the west, and I'll show you a graphic on that very shortly. In the meantime, it's 70 at Delphi, Monticello, and Flora. It's 73 at the Purdue Airport, and we're running 70 currently at Fowler, with dew points running in the upper 60s to about 70. So as the temperature and the dew point pretty much settle about right there equal tonight, that means some patchy fog developing. We actually saw a nice little pocket of clearing in the heart of the viewing area this evening, so some clearing skies there, but there's some cloudiness south of our area, even a couple showers south of I-70. These clouds moving back northward. May have an isolated shower tomorrow morning, but also watch for some of that patchy fog developing. And of course, there's Fred. Tropical Storm Fred's made landfall. We've had peak winds up to 73 miles an hour here in the Florida Panhandle. And right here in southeast Alabama at radar beam level, still getting indications that some of these 60-mile-per-hour gusts may be reaching the ground. But for us tonight, just partly cloudy, maybe an isolated shower late, patchy fog, low 66.
All right, Chad, thank you very much. Well, since 1999, about 1,000 children have died after being left in a hot car by a parent or guardian. And as Anthony Pura reports, more incidents are again happening this summer.
Last month, Phoenix police officers smashed out a car window to rescue a 2-year-old that was burning up in his car seat. The mother had just returned from the grocery store and accidentally locked her keys inside.
After he was checked out, it was great to see. He's playing with his Legos and we're having a good time.
But unfortunately, these cases often end in tragedy. Just a few weeks later, a 7-month-old boy died at a mall outside of Phoenix after being left in a parked vehicle for about 2 hours.
Don't think that this can't happen to you. It can happen to anyone.
Deona Bayan lost her daughter Aslyn in 2004. Her babysitter had the child in the back seat of the car while running errands.
The sitter arrived at her destination. She forgot that she had her with her.
Aslyn was left inside for almost an hour and died after suffering heat stroke.
I keep hoping for the day that no other family suffers this.
Bayan now works with the advocacy group Kids in Cars, which says 14 children have died in hot vehicles so far this year. There are ways to prevent this kind of tragedy. You can put your phone, wallet, or purse in the back seat with your child, which will serve as a reminder. It's also important to set up alerts with your child's school or daycare.
If your child doesn't arrive at that specific time, that they're giving you a phone call to see where your child is.
And Bayan says, we've seen many cases of kids climbing into an empty car and accidentally locking themselves inside.
Parents should always lock their car doors because children do like to play and they like to play hide and seek.
Simple steps that can help save lives. Anthony Pura, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, some TSC parents say the corporation's transportation problems are getting out of hand. Victoria Clark says she brushed it off the first time the school bus dropped her 5-year-old off over an hour late. As News 18 previously reported, the corporation moved to remote learning last year for some time because so many drivers and staff were quarantined. Clark says it's been an ongoing issue. TSC Superintendent Scott Handback told News 18 today that the corporation is aware that there is an issue of late buses. He says part of it is due to increased enrollment and a driver shortage. He says, quote, "I apologize. I understand the parents' frustrations."
My question is, how were you thinking this would go? What did you expect to happen with the transportation when you knew you were this many drivers short and you could not properly accommodate your schools? In my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, but I don't believe that it was appropriate to start school.
Handback says the issue is among a handful of elementary and middle schools. He says the corporation is actively working to fix the problem by encouraging people who are interested in work to apply on the corporation's website. Well, coming up next, a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old running their own stores in Lafayette. We'll tell you more about possibly two of the youngest people to ever run a business in Lafayette after the break.
Well, some patchy fog later on tonight after 4 a.m. as well as tomorrow night. It's going to continue to get muggy in the area with a few spotty thunder showers ahead. And then warmer, we got 3 time periods for some storm risk Friday through Tuesday. We'll try to pinpoint the timing with new data on that coming up.
You're watching News 18 on the CW at 10. News from where you live.
Well, welcome back. Tonight we're introducing you to what could be the youngest people to ever own a business in Lafayette. One is just 10 years old, the other is 6. News 18's Micah Upshaw is giving us an inside look at their candy and toy stores that are located on 14th Street.
Look at the T-Rex. It's so cool.
This is DJ's Dino House, which Damien owns. And as you can see, there are lots
This is a new dinosaur.
and lots of dinosaurs.
Everyone loves dinosaurs, and I like dinosaurs.
And just next door is the Rec Club, which Rael owns. Here you can find all your favorite snacks and candies.
We came across these two spaces. I was actually looking for a space for my sister's store. And when I found this space, I told my sister about it, but she said it was too far from where she lived. So I brought my kids over here and they loved it.
This is where it all started for Ryan Burns. She bought the 2 store spaces this past May, and by the end of July, both were ready to open. But these businesses go beyond simply providing convenience items on this side of town.
You have to work for what you want, and that's one thing I wanted to teach my kids. Like, I want them to know the value of $1. I want them to know they can't, everywhere we go, they don't just get to pick up stuff and get stuff. They have to earn it.
Burns says while DJ is a little young to grasp this concept, 10-year-old Rael is already starting to learn. After school and homework, she comes to the store to help operate the register and keep the shelves stocked.
I mean, it's kind of fun. I learned how to count money for the first time in forever.
Burns is excited for what the future holds for these young entrepreneurs.
They're utilizing what they love to create income, to save for college and school. And snacks, of course, because they love snacks.
Reporting in Lafayette, Micah Upshaw, News 18.
And now, your Precision 18 forecast. News 18. Weather from where you live.
Well, tomorrow morning, some patchy fog is possible at the bus stop, and there'll be some clouds around. Maybe a small isolated shower or sprinkle around, mid-60s for the kids out there. Maybe a small isolated shower at 9, temperature 69. We're headed for 85. It's going to feel more like about 88 or 90 with all the humidity around. And we're going to bubble up a few spotty thunder showers at any point during the afternoon with winds out of a south-southeast direction. And still pretty muggy on Wednesday too, and a little bit warmer. A little patchy fog in the morning, maybe an isolated shower, but there's not going to be much wind stirring on Wednesday. A little bit stifling, very light south-southeast wind. We'll bubble up a few more spotty thunder showers. A high of 87, but it's going to feel like the low 90s. So let's dig in. This is Precision Cast at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and you notice a little shower or two around, and that continues into the afternoon. We bubble up a few of these around and even into tomorrow evening. Now, on Wednesday, we'll bubble up a few more. The thing about Wednesday is the core of the disturbance, or the upper low that's helping to ignite these a little bit, will be moving overhead. And there's a lot of spin, a lot of vorticity on Wednesday. So, yeah, we'll have a few spotty thunder showers, but I can't rule out 1 or 2 of these putting out a little rope funnel. When you're in this kind of situation where you've got the vorticity or the spin and you've got the unstable air kind of focused near the ground, that rolling motion will sometimes be tilted in the vertical, and you can get a little rope funnel from a thunder shower. Most of the time they don't touch down though. And then getting into Thursday, a few more thunder showers here and there bubbling up, about 25% coverage. A little smoke coming in tonight. You see that right here, but the bulk of it is off to the west. This will be moving our way, so it's going to get smoky late in the week and into the weekend, and that will determine how many storms we get. We're looking at some storms Friday night, Saturday morning. If we get too much smoke, we won't get as many, though. And then we may get some storms Sunday night, and then perhaps a few more on Monday as a very weak front tries to slide in. But after that, the heat is on next week, and if you think it's warm now, we're going to be well into the 90s mid to late next week. Normal high 83, 89 Thursday, 90.